What's going on, everybody? Sorry for the mess around here. It's just I had a chance to clean up. It's been busy. I've been working on my nonprofit and then my business, thinkbytestudio.com. By the way, just give you guys a heads up. If you're watching this, Windows 10. If you're on Windows 10, it goes end of life in about 4 days. So if you need any assistance moving over to Windows 11, call us, right? And I can help with that. Or if you don't want to spend the money on a Windows 11 license, that I think is like between $100 and $200. I think it's closer to $200 for the Pro, I believe. Actually, let's check that out. What What's going on, you guys? Sorry for the mess around here. It's been busy. I Thankfully I'm not like still in bed and just depressed. Just trying to start moving and doing things. Um, I'm trying to get orders for thinkbytestudio.com to just make some kind of money so I can pay some bills. Anyway, talking about thinkbytestudio.com before we get into this, Windows 10 is expiring in like why is that not 6 days? What's going on, you guys? So, sorry for the mess around here. It's been busy. I've been trying to keep busy, trying to get orders in for thinkbytestudio.com and trying to just make money so I can pay bills and rent. Anyway, just to also give you guys a heads up. I Windows 10 goes end of life in about 4 days. So I think, Saturday, Sunday, I think Tuesday is the last day. October 14th is the last day that Windows 10 is supported. After that, they're cutting off security updates. Not for you guys in Europe. You guys got a nice extension. But if you're in the US, yeah, you're going to be vulnerable. So Microsoft's done with security updates and stuff like that. So if you need assistance moving to Windows 11, we can help you with that in ThinkByte Studio. So just give us a heads up. You can get total home care or emergency IT support for just doing that. And if we can't upgrade you to Windows 11, I know the price for Windows 11 is $130, I think, for home and $199 for Pro. They're still doing the free upgrade. So if you go into Windows settings, Windows update, and it's free, do it, right? Because you want those security updates. And it should be easy. If you run into any hiccups, give us a call, right? We have our number right up here. Give us a call or email us. We'll reach out to you. If your computer doesn't support a certain thing called the TPM module, which is required for Windows 11, you need it's this chip, and it has to deal with the encryption and stuff. If your computer or a desktop or a laptop doesn't have it, you're gonna have problems in Windows 11. So we have solutions for that. Anyway, give us a call if you have any questions. Anyway, this episode I wanted to talk to you guys about the Grand Tactician. I'm not going to say Civil War 1861 to 1865 because this dev blog is not about that. This dev blog is about another game they're in development. They didn't announce it yet. If you look at my previous video, I believe it's Napoleonic. I'm guessing that's where my guess is. But these are all the new features coming to this game. So let's take a look at it. I'm interested in it. So this is the fourth dev blog in a series where we discuss work currently being done in developing a new game in a Grand Tactician series. All four. The new game and the conflict it covers has not yet been announced, but the work is progressing nicely and we're getting closer to dropping some specific details when we feel ready to do so. Hopefully that's soon. Stages of close combat. In the new combat model we've been working on, and the biggest, most visible change is in how close combat, non-range combat, charge and melee works. This was a critical factor in combat and tactics before the introduction of rapid-fire weapons. Even in prolonged melees became rare much earlier. In GT1, the Civil War, we have a rather rudimentary close combat model. I thought it was alright. Focusing on melee, a unit charges another unit. When the unit overlaps a melee ensues, casualties are inflicted on the fighting units, taking into account a lot of level factors such as unit type, training, cohesion, fatigue, used weapons. Interesting. Formations, number of men engaged in the melee. This continues until one unit falls back or routes. Usually it's a route. The new close combat system is built to accommodate basically any conflict between the 17th and 19th centuries. Interesting. So they're planning not for this title, but this title plus a couple other ones. And you can kind of see where they're going. So wars in the 1600s, wars in the 1700s, and of course the 1800s. Very interesting. That says a lot here. That says a lot. I actually reached out to the team. I love Ila and the team at Grand Tactician. These guys are geniuses. They're artists. They're like Picassos of strategy gaming. Because I'm developing a strategy game. I figure I'm out of work. I really don't have anything on the horizon. The chance of me getting a job is just getting lower and lower. There's just not a lot of jobs out there. So I figure, look, I'm going to do my passion, and I'm going to make an American Revolutionary War strategy game. I was hoping, I didn't have to do this, I was hoping that the game made by, it's not Norbsoft anymore, Revolution... game strategy Steam, I don't know, I forgot the name of the game. Yes, Ultimate General American Revolution. I was hoping this game would be it. It wasn't. As you can see, 50%. I didn't really, I thought it was okay. It wasn't anything close to what Grand Tactician put out. Not even close. There is no like realism, immersion. It just feels like it lacks a lot of what Grand Tactician had. I honestly thought they were going to do like a Grand Tactician, but American Revolutionary War with their own kind of like engine and stuff like that. It it wasn't like that. Grand Tactician Civil War is just... So I reached out to them. I'm like, hey, I just want to know, like, I don't want to waste my time to make an American Revolutionary War game if you're making one. So, let me know, because if you are, I'm just not going to. But as far as right now, they're not confirming. I believe they mentioned that they were not. So this new one, I think they mentioned it's not. So I can't say that. So this is a huge thing. This kind of tells you that they're preparing for the future, that they're looking quite ahead, right? For battles in the 1600s, 1700s, and of course 1800s. And I just want to give you guys a heads up that, I consider, well, you guys already know, I consider the Grand Tactician Civil War being the premier, right, like strategy game of the Civil War. I actually spoke to Illa, I think recently, and I said, like, listen, I don't think there's any strategy game that comes close to what you guys developed. I don't think any strategy game will come in the future will come close. That's how sure I am about how great they did. Grand Tactician 1, I can only imagine Grand Tactician 2, Civil War. I was hoping that Ultimate General, American Revolution would have been it, but it didn't kind of really meet expectations. I mean, you can see it's, recent reviews are even worse than the all positive reviews. I thought it was alright. I thought they were going to do like a Grand Tactician-like game for the American Revolution, but they're not. So guess what? I'm out of work. And probably not going to get a job anytime soon. I'm applying, but I am going to make an American Revolutionary War game. I'm going to make a separate video on that. Going to do a Kickstarter, everything. And I already have a publisher that kind of like gave me a thumbs up, that's saying, hey, if you get a working model, we got you covered, kind of thing. Give me a like in the description or a comment if you would like to see something like that. I'm doing the design document now. It's like, oh man, it's dozens of pages. So like, it's a lot of work. I didn't realize how much work it is, and I didn't even like. I'm going to give you guys I'm going to roll it out in the next couple of weeks, but I want to get the design document finalized and everything like that. But anyway, let's keep going on. Not only one specific, like in the case of GT1, in this system we have broken close combat down into multiple layers that can be described as sort of stages. Ooh, I like it. So one side could be winning, the other side couldn't, like, the left side, right side of the line. Though they are not as linear or exclude one another at any specific time, it's just easier to break the system down this way when describing it. A unit can close up in close combat when charging an enemy unit, being charged by an enemy unit, or when opposing units overlap one another for any reason during a combat move. I ran into that, I believe. In the last mentioned situation, the nature of close combat is unplanned, so neither unit is intentionally engaging into melee, and charging takes place. So let's focus on a situation where one or both units in the question deliberately engages into close combat. The charge impact, depending on the unit and tactics deployed, charging can happen in different formations and speed. Ooh, interesting. I wonder if you can go in as like, in marching formation where you have four guys just puncturing a line. It'll be interesting. And speed. A cavalry unit, for example, could charge in a linear or column formation. That's cool. Or in any specific charge formation such as wedge. Even cooler. And usually on the trot or gallop. Grand Tactician, what are you doing to me, man? Making me jump out of my seat here in a second. Infantry charge may happen even with standard marching pace. Love it. A charging unit may try to maintain solid formation or break into a charge more individually, Hollywood style. Ooh, I like that. And you can kind of see that in some of the movies where you had like one guy charging and then the other guy seeing the other one. All right, well, kind of thing. Where instead of a full thing, and you've seen that in a couple of movies. I think Gettysburg. within a unit formation and its integrity. The unit being charged may or may not be prepared to receive a charge. If we ignore field works and use terrain, the most important counter against a charge is cohesion, formation, and the weapons employed. A dense hedgehog of lowered pikes or a wall of bayonets, so there's going to be pikes, that's interesting. Or a wall of bayonets of infantry in square formation could be sufficient to discourage a cavalry unit from charging home or have veered off instead. Wow, the amount of work that they are doing is insane. I'm writing a design document for the American Revolution War game. Again, like and comment if you want to see that. This is a lot, because when you're implementing systems, you have to like figure out how it's all going to work, how the code is going to respond to each other. This is a lot. Wow, huge props. Maybe discharging his firearms in anger at close distance. A controlled volley charged at charging units from a close range could break the formation of the charging unit, or either blunt the charge or have the unit abort and engage and disengage and altogether. The unit charge also may falter and decide to fall back in the face of a charge before properly engaged. With the use of our updated morale and cohesion systems, we can now simulate these outcomes, which were more common that prolonged melees throughout the 17th and 19th century. So, fall back, rout, and clash. So you have the charge flinches and does not press home. The charge unit flinches and disengages before combat. So that's that. The charged unit flinches. Okay. And charging unit presses home the charge, and charge unit stands its ground, results in an impact. Okay, interesting. Let's assume now that the charging unit is dedicated and able to charge home, and the target unit does not falter. What happens next is an impact. When the charging unit, could be both units, violently collides with its target in a formation and carrying a certain speed. Wow. Let's call the latter an impact speed. First off, who shall hit whom first? Very interesting. The weapon used is important in the soldier level combat battle. Make sure they have bayonets. Cavalrymen with a 4-meter lance would outreach a musket with the bayonet, but on the other hand could be hit first if a soldier with the 5-meter pike. Wow. So this is you can kind of see this in you've seen this in the 1700 combat, but a lot in the 1600s combat. So they're really focusing on this system for future games. This is insanely detailed combat mission. Grand Tactician. Wow. Wow. I don't know what to say. The level of detail and the level of like discussions that you guys must be having are just like mind blown emoji. Wow. Maintaining cohesion, and you gotta imagine the lines of code that this is all gonna involve. Maintain cohesion. A unit receiving a charge could blunt the charge. The impact speed carried could be drained by loss of the integrity of formation, and PD is lost as the full weight of the unit does not crash into the ranks of other units intact. On the other hand, if the charging unit can hold has long weapons such as lance for cavalry and can maintain its impact speed, the end result could be bad on the receiving end, with the first line being decimated by the lances, for example. The subsequent ones receiving the weight of the mass of the horses still in full speed. Wow, they're taking that into a factor. You know how much code that is? Let's call this phenomenon ranged melee. If both sides are armed identically, any benefit of reach is naturally lost. If the unit receiving the charge has not proper counter against it, the formation could suffer severely, I can imagine, in the form of casualties and loss of integrity as soldiers are pushed off their position. In the end, the charging unit could either mow down, penetrate, and completely shatter the target unit with the carried weight and impact speed, or the impetus is lost, and either charging is repelled or the melee ensues. Wow, that's insane. All right, so number one, charging unit unit has long weapons, the defending unit formation is broken upon impact. You notice how it's like not like, straight. They charged on this angle and broke it. I like that. It really is interesting. The defending unit is ready to receive a charge. It has longer weapons, so the charging unit breaks. And then number C, identical armaments offers neither unit tactical initial advantage. Okay, wow. The melee, as described, a lot could have happened before we find the men on our opposing units fighting in it eye to eye, dealing blows with dedicated melee weapons, be it swords, bayonets, or rifle butts. It is likely that at the point, either for both units could already be out to disengage. As said, prolonged melees were not common, even if opposing soldiers would remain determined and the unit's impact, which should be rare. Melee is tiring. Yeah, I can imagine a messy business. Yeah. Messy with the capital B. And the party finding itself overpowered would try to disengage orderly to prevent a disaster. In this case, we have our soldiers fighting a close melee as opposed to a previously mentioned ranged melee. Weapon, armor, training, morale, and fatigues are important factor, but so is the cohesion and type of the formation. If the formation is shattered or spacing loose, interesting, a single soldier could be facing multiple enemies at once. There's so many factors in this. Also, there's the weight of the enemy formation. In close melee, single soldiers could end up being pushed by the enemy. This will have the formation bend, which still being able to hold its ground. If the pressure gets too much, the whole unit could be pushed back, which may end up a larger battle being bent. I'm just visualizing this. The depth and cohesion of formations is important. A columnar unit can concentrate its strength on a narrow front rather than a linear one. Usually, if the pressure can be maintained and determined, the line being pushed will eventually give in and break. This can be controlled with the unit being able to reform further back or on control, which usually results in rout. Wow. So this changes everything. So the angle that you're attacking is going to be vital now. So like if soldiers are spread out, this is going to change so much. And in the previous dev blogs of like how ranged shooting works, so many different factors are in play. This is going to be the most in-depth combat system ever made. I'm just going to say that right now. Most in-depth, most just realistic combat system ever made in the history of strategy gaming, as far as I know. I'm just a loss for words. Wow, man, I have no words. So right here, close melee logic. Charging unit breaks the formation and defending units. And by the way, in range combat, like units here can be firing other units. So that's what I was meaning. That stands its ground. Attack unit pushing melee units, creating a bulge in the defender's line. One unit is unable to withstand the pressure. Formation is broken. Unit is routed. Wow, that'd be crazy. I wonder how that's going to appear graphically. When the melee, the countercharge, and the countercharge. When the melee ends with one side breaking, it could also end up with both sides disengaged due to exhaustion. A successful party should exploit this situation. This way, the end result could be a complete defeat of the larger enemy force, a domino effect that could win the battle before it grinds to a battle of attrition, ruining both armies, resulting in Pyrrhic victory in best case. A defending unit may utilize tactics stance such as called countercharge. When doing so, the unit will stand fast in order to repel any enemy attack, and once the unit disengages in disarray, it will immediately charge home, in return to wreak maximum havoc and now disorganized. I like that. Before disengaging in turn to regroup and hold the line. I like that. That's really cool. If an attack unit is successful, it may pursue the routing enemy unit in order to cause maximum casualties to force the unit to surrender. Okay, I'm just a loss for words, man. In either case, the winning unit should be sufficient condition to exploit. Insufficient condition to exploit. An exhausted or scattered unit will not be able to pursue. A pursuing unit may become hard or impossible to control, so having fresh reserves at hand can be crucial in order to turn a tactical level of success into a victory in battle. And this is, of course, the art of war for the Grand Tactician. So this changes everything, right? Like, don't put all your marbles, like, one long line. You got to have reserves now, because just in case this happens. And then I wonder if these guys are fleeing. Like, so for example, like this happens, all the red guys, and you have a unit in reserve, and they go through. I'm assuming this unit will get demoralized, right? So, man, there's so many factors. Oh, man. Now the question is like, will units within the operational zone see one unit demoralized, completely broken? Will that affect them? Just wow. Like, wow. Like I said, I don't think I love all game developers, especially indie game developers. I mean, I know I'm using that in broad context, but there's a lot in every gaming studio. You will find passionate people, but just the level of passion that Grand Tactician is employing here is just mind-boggling, and they're like accounting for every single different events or situation, and just incorporating that. So when my reaction to this is, one, whatever Grand Tactician puts out, Napoleonic, if this is maybe the 1870s European wars, French and Indian War, wars in the 16th century, 1600s, they got it. Forget it. Like, there is no game that's going to come close. No game that's going to come close in terms of the realism, the immersion, the just all these factors, right? Like, Grand Tactician got on top, right? To me, this is kind of like a little bit reminds me of like when Battlefield came out, right? Battlefield 6 now is like this huge hit, right? And everybody loves Battlefield. But this is like Grand Tactician 1, Civil War, was kind of like that first Battlefield that like just made everybody go, wow, whoa, this is, whoa. And this is kind of like now, this is kind of like taking it to the next level. And I'm just, I don't know if publishers probably reached out to Grand Tactician because they probably see this and they're like, these guys are geniuses. We need to publish them. Let's cut them a check for $500 million here, kind of thing. Because I know if I was running a publishing house, I'd be like, Illa, name me a price. Just name it. Whatever it is, here. But please stay with the company. Keep making games. We're hands off. We will do the marketing. We'll take your feedback for the marketing. Just, you're a genius. Do your thing. They are the Linus, right? The Linus for Linux, right? If you guys are into Linux, you know who Linus is, right? Or the Steve Jobs for Apple. They're just, wow. Anyway, I'm gonna have to soak all that in. Please like and subscribe if you want a video on my current stage of my American Revolutionary War game. Maybe I'll show you some design documents, pages. You never know. Anyway, I think you guys will really like my American Revolutionary War game. All I will say is that one of my favorite games growing up that I've played hundreds, maybe thousands of hours was a game known as I think it's said Lee, Sherman, and Grant's CWG. I'm just going to leave it right there. It's a game inspired based on that. Anyway, hopefully you guys enjoy this. Illa and your team, you guys are incredible. Catch you guys in the next one. See you then.